So it feels like ages ago now, but on Sunday we left the Mundi Mundi Bash and we headed northish, as the little car shows. And we ended up staying the night at Milparinka with a couple of stops along the way. Fantastic scenery. Pack Saddle Roadhouse, brilliant. I want to buy that place. That was fantastic. Nothing else around, just the pub in the middle of the highway. And it was really well maintained. And I've got to say, the best hamburger I've ever had in my life. A lot of these places have these statues and they have quirky things inside the bar and around. This one's got all the hats hanging from the top. There was another one that had caps later on as well. Of course, we've got the obligatory beer shot. Wouldn't be a pub without it, would it? Loved all the sheep along the road. There was quite a few, and you know, I wouldn't call them wildlife, but you've got to watch out for them anyway. And after so many kilometres of nothingness, you get excited when you see a sheep.
Otto was of the opinion that only his sons should attend. Instead.
Coming into Milparinka, just a couple of hours drive north of Broken Hill, and we were really excited. Well, I was really excited to be here because it's something that I'd seen on YouTube and on Facebook, and it's a historical town. It was really big in the late 1800s with the gold mining. There's Kari's Shadow. The town itself, it actually had a population of around 3,000 people when the gold mining was happening. There's lots of memorials here. A lot of people grew up and had a lot of families here, but a lot of the children didn't really last very long, unfortunately. And there's a lot of memorials to those people who didn't make it. A lot of these little statue things again. It's quite a pretty little town. The pub itself there was pretty cool. You can sit on the balcony and watch these amazing sunsets. I think that was a bank at some stage. And from there we headed north again to Cameron Corner right there, and then we continued on to a little place called Mundi Mundi, which is in the middle of nowhere. Back to Milparinka, there we go. Tibooburra.
Tibooburra was pretty cool, population of only 150. Don't know how you get to be a local there because there's not a lot of jobs, but there is a couple of like roadhouses and a couple of pubs. And further down the road, they've got these ace statues actually made out of the wire that was left over from the dog fence. So there's Josh and I just assaulting a large bandicoot, you know, as you do. This fence wasn't the dog fence like I thought it was. It's actually a rabbit-proof fence. And look, there's a couple of stunners just in the middle of the desert. I mean, why not? They've got some really cool educational little huts, and you can go and read about all the different animals that they're trying to save. There's another spunk, you know, just a random one in the middle of the desert. And here's another statue, I guess you call them. It's made out of the wire again. It's a bilby. Now, here's an argument. Is that a watermelon or a pumpkin? But they're growing everywhere, and we don't know. This gate goes into where? South Australia?
Into South Australia.
Into South Australia, so that's pretty cool. So there's the signs for South Australia. And we're very, very close to Cameron Corner at this point. So we're really on the intersection of South Australia, Queensland, which I thought was cute that there was a Victoria Bitter sign, and New South Wales. So there's that Queensland sign. So all within that little corner of where all three states actually meet. 1,803 kilometres to the south beaches of Sydney. So good luck with that. And that's the pub. Really cool little pub. Now, there's the join. So there's the South Australian border, New South Wales and Queensland border. So here's a photo of Josh in South Australia. Looking pretty good. And here's a photo of Josh being a dag in New South Wales. And here's a photo of Josh in Queensland. He don't look much different, does he? Okay, this is the dog-proof fence that runs all the way down and around. It's huge, very, very long. All the signs around are great, telling you what roads were open. We're on the Streslacki track. So we've got a very dirty side mirror here, but the dust was insane. We did get a fair bit of dust into the camper as well. But it's like riding a roller coaster. The photo doesn't, or the video doesn't really show it, but oh, your stomach lurches as you go up and over all these hills. We made it to Mundi Mundi, so we're up on a bit of a sand dune here, having a look at Mundi Mundi, which was really, really cool. We really enjoyed it. And to think that something so pretty could just grow out of that sand is insane. But we did cop a little bit in our camper, didn't we?
Yeah, that's the fridge. Obviously, it's supposed to be a sealed section, but yeah, obviously the dust did get in. There was so much of it.
Avert your eyes, kids, because that's my new favourite stubby holder.
Kari just relaxing in the as the sun's going down in Mundi, and here's a little shot of the sunset. Absolutely spectacular.
Doesn't really do it justice, does it?
It was so clear that night. The stars were amazing. The wind had dropped while we were having dinner and sitting around, which was nice, but overnight it did get a bit windy.
Yeah, did a little bit. But that video doesn't really do it justice of how beautiful that sunset really was. But the fire kept us warm, which is always really good.
Oh, look at that steak.
And who says that you don't have to eat well, or you can't eat well when you're camping? Look at that. That was fantastic. So then, this was just this morning. We were off again from Mundi up to...
We ended up in Innamincka, which is right there. It's a bit of a historical place where Burke and Wills came to their end back in the early explorer days. There's not much here. There's a pub, there's a petrol fuel bowser and a trading store, but it is a very historical sort of place, and there's lots of memorabilia showing the outback adventures that went back in the 1800s. The pub itself was pretty cool. Meals were good, plenty of souvenirs there if you want them. They've got a bit of a restaurant-y part out the back, which was quite nice. All the details of all the tracks that are open and closed throughout the seasons. As you can see, it was a bit windy.
It's very windy here today. Very, very windy here today.
Shower block, $2 for a shower. That's pretty good out here.
And golf. Mini golf, but still it's golf. It's the only green we've seen in a really long time. And this is where we're camping, just sort of driving in. If you can see, everything's all dusty. What you can't see is the wind. The trees don't even look like they're moving, but it is a lot of wind here and a lot of dust at the moment. And then our camper, we just sort of left that at the common when we went up to the pub. So took a bit of a shot of that, and we were surprised how small it looks when it's not attached to the car.
This is the town common, which is about half a K, maybe a K, a bit further down. And yeah, it's $10. Go for it.